You let me raw, take you over, comprehend survival. You know, find the way. You know it's real, you know it's real. Shivers down your spine, down your spine. Giving me goosebumps, giving me goosebumps.
What's good, party people? This is your friendly neighbor Chad the Maverick, back again with another video. And I know it's been a little bit, I know it's been a while. The last video I did was about the new moon in Libra, and the next video I'm doing is going to be about the new moon in Scorpio. So you may be wondering, like, what happened in between time in order for you to not have another video for like the full moon or something like that. Well, let me tell you, it's none of your business. Let me stop. But honestly, I just made a lot of transitions in Libra season, did a lot of teaching for me personally, as far as just like how partnerships are concerned, how to interact with people that you actually like care for, how to get in cahoots with businesses and organizations, how to properly network, how to like speak to people and try to keep in contact with them enough so they know that you're serious about them and what they like provide, and etc., etc. But enough of all that, because it's no longer Libra season. Libra season is my North Node season, so I kind of had to like just dip and live that out, you know. But the revelations keep coming through Scorpio season, and then they're finally realized and actualized in Sagittarius season, which then you're able to move into further action and utilize them for specific things and roles in Capricorn season. But we're not there yet. Right now, we're here. Speaking of the now, you have to like take a moment, and the transition in the Scorpio season can be especially rough on people that aren't necessarily intact with their emotions and or don't have placements in like one of the water houses, or don't have a lot of water or fire within their chart. Scorpio energy being the Martian energy of water, the fixated water that essentially is ice, right? A big way to like just frame Scorpio and Scorpionic energy is the ice, because Pluto being the furthest planet, and I don't think people understand how far away Pluto actually is from Earth. I didn't really truly realize it until I went to the observatory not too long ago. But I'm looking at the scale between, you know, the sun and where Pluto is. Like, this is the sun, this is where Earth is, Pluto's over here. Like, and I have long arms. I know you can't see it via camera because I know how to look short on camera somehow. But that's like essentially how far away Pluto is. So it's a very isolated planet. There's a lot of ice there. There's a lot of power. It's a very quiet power. It's a type of it's almost, the power of Pluto is very similar almost to like sonar, as far as the fact that it's just like a wave. It's like a quick wave that it's almost silent. It's almost invisible. It's invisible, it's silent. It's very just like, and then next thing you know, the event skyrockets and it's a Plutonian event, or that's how it works in conjunction with Mars in order for things to happen in this like actual 3D experience. And those type of transformations occur on a alchemic level. Anyway, enough of me being a nerd. So with this Scorpio season, oh, sorry, last thing. I have a new single out right now. Very Venus and Scorpio vibes, very Scorpio season vibes. I didn't expect it to come out so soon, but it came out the day of Scorpio season. It's called Shivers. If you want to search it up, it's Chad the Maverick, all together, no spaces, literally the same way that you see like my @name somewhere. It's just Chad the Maverick straight through, no spaces, none of that. I'll be linking it in the description. If y'all can support that, that'd be amazing, because this is actually a hit record, period. I don't care. Like, it's a hit. It's a hit song. It's a hit song. It's what Kanye, Cudi, and Travis wanted to make, but it's me, you know. Let me stop. I've been such a goofball lately, and I don't know why. Maybe because I am a Sag, and it's just like I'm embracing this Sag part. Matter of fact, this brings actually us into the actual time frame, this is the prequel right now to Halloween. The prequel to Halloween, Mercury retrograde is also going to be starting on Halloween. But right before Halloween, there's going to be the new moon in Scorpio. I believe on the 27th, there's the new moon. So right now we're going to be talking about the new moon leading into Halloween, which is the access point for this Mercury retrograde that's going to be occurring and sending all of these vibes into the air, right? So the thing about the transition in the Scorpio season is this one thing and one thing alone. We get taught on a spiritual level and on a spiritual basis, even from a religious standpoint or wherever you came up from, that everything is supposed to be, light, love, light, all of those. That's just a general frame, and that's pretty much the different variations of that. What people fail to understand and to realize is that you can't properly have like that love and order and peace without the other end of things, the other more primordial side of things, the more primal side of things, as what we would say or associate with like dark. And the thing about dark is that it's like there's a lot of different ways that you can break it down from a color spectrum. There's a bunch of different ways you could break it down from just like a general brightness to non-brightness. But just the best way to put it is that people get so afraid of the shadow thinking it's the absence of light. But in turn, it could actually just be the full exposure of light making everything dark. It gets deep. I don't know the science 100% on top of my head, so I don't want to break it down and like be wrong. Have someone in the comments like, hey, you're wrong. And then I'll be like, I am, because I didn't know what I was saying. But besides the point, what this time frame is really getting us together for is that we have to really embrace this, like, the shadow side of our own selves, not of anything else or external. Like, everyone has their own quote unquote flaws. Everyone has their own shadow. Everyone has those things that they don't necessarily want to embrace on a surface level or they want to bring out, because not due to them being ashamed per se of it on a personal scale, but on a scale of how it's going to be perceived on an external level. How are people going to speak on you? How are people going to perceive you if you start living by these things that are already embedded in you, or that you really have a part of? Like, how are you going to be able to move and maneuver with those type of eyes on you saying, oh, this person's doing ba ba ba, And I think what this Scorpio season is really showing is that, like, despite what light that we have or what light we show, like, we all at the end of the day have our own internal like darknesses, and we need to be able to integrate these darkness or shadows or these whatever. And it's funny because it's really hard for me to even try to explain to you what like a shadow characteristic would be, but it would just be the most primal response that comes from you before it gets deciphered and filtered through your brain. It's like, what's the most primal thing that happens? And it happens like often. Like, you can get into an argument with someone, and then a part of you is like, I want to fight this person, or I want to fight this person. I want to scream at this person, and like those type of primal feelings aren't wrong. What you do with those feelings deters to getting bad, but the type of like natural response you get isn't wrong. It's like your natural response. Is now a matter of how you deal with it. So it's less of you trying to shame the fact that you have that natural response and that natural inclination to maybe get that way, and it's more about addressing like, how can I integrate those same feelings that I get in that primal response in a way where I don't have to be violent. Like, now I can take what someone was saying to me and transmute that in comparison into something that can work or utilize for myself, or that we can. It's not about compromise. Libra season was about compromise. Scorpio season is about desire, and the Scorpio season is about, these are the things that I desire. They're mine. Honestly, that's the easiest way to put for Scorpio season. So with this upcoming new moon, a big thing and a big theme that's going to be happening is, what do you desire? Like, what is your heart's true desire? What is your heart's true desire? What does your heart crave? Not like what does it want, what does it love, what does it think it likes, what does it crave, like what does it really want to dive into. This is the dig deep. This is the raw. Like what at a raw level, like what do you want? You know what I mean? That's what this Scorpio season is kind of showing everyone, right? So here's a couple things I want to point out from like my notes and stuff, just to like give more basis, right? So in this like embracing of the dark, we generally live a lot of the times in this fear level nature, this fear level of consciousness, when essentially we feel like we don't have direct purpose. We don't have a direct passion. We don't have one specific thing that we want to work towards. We may not have one specific goal that we want to achieve. We just want to do good and be good, right? And I think one of the main things about this is that this brings on fear. The not knowing of what specifics you want to be able to get into, that one specific thing that you want to do. I know for me, for example, it's an issue that I've had. It's like I have multifacets for myself personally that I've worked on all individually, but what's the one thing that I do, right? Like, oh, I do astrology. This is a video here. Oh, I do tarot. I have my cards here. Oh, I sing. I'm a producer. I write. I am blah, blah, blah. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, if it was on a fear-based level, I would have scared myself out of even trying to do all of those different things, and I'll probably stick to one. And I could have been really good at that one thing, but I would have like still been stunted in a sense because it's the fear. Thankfully, I'm a triple fire sign, so even when I am like fearful, it's my fire just kind of like everything, and then I'll just go for it most of the time. Most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Shouts out to my Virgo energy. But besides the point, it's not about me. But it's one of those things where we have to. It's not about facing your fear. It's about understanding that fear is a part of you, and that's okay. And I think that's the main thing that has to go, right? So it's not like, oh, I want to do this so I never get nervous. It's okay to get nervous, but use that nervousness to your favor. And that's what the Scorpio is bringing in. And that's what this new moon is going to kind of be about. And the theme around it is going to be embracing that dark side, so you can like just learn how to utilize it for your own personal and positive gain from it. So it's like learning and understanding your triggers and using them to further your cause, right? So for me personally, if someone pisses me off, I'm going to go produce, right? And that's because now I'm taking all of those like feelings that I had beforehand, and now putting it towards something that's like useful. Or like, I don't know, you get sad, you want to go read a book. I don't know. It's like, it's whatever. It's going to work differently for every single person, but the Scorpio season is going to really show you on a straight up level what the raw thing is and the desire. And the second you double guess it is the second it's going to not try to work for you or with you anymore. It's like a very primal, like right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now. That's the Mars aspect of Scorpio. That like, that's all. That's the only way I can explain it. It's that type of like passion that just needs to be expressed and pushed out. So what I'm trying to get out is that knowing this and understanding your fears at that point, how you can utilize them, you start to embrace the totality of things. You start to realize that there is no light without the dark. There is no happiness without sadness. It's one of those things where you start to see and realize, at least if you want to break it down like this, a divine masculine and divine feminine principle. Like, these are the differences. These are the things that set those two things apart in comparison. Now, you start to accept that all of these facets about you. So let's say you like racing race cars. You like painting. You definitely love meditating with your meditation group. Now, you could take all those three things and still be those three things. You're accepting and embracing the totality of it, including maybe the fears that you have had in total, and now you're starting to become something else. You're starting to understand that like life is a stage for you to be on in comparison to you trying to hide from the stage, you trying to back away from the stage due to fear that you do too much, or due to too much overthinking, or due to too much. The mind isn't your friend 100% in Scorpio season. your gut is your best friend in Scorpio season, and that's because of the Martian influence. I'm gonna break down an actual Mars series very soon. I just started getting ready to like prepare to write that out again, but the Mars series is gonna break down the feelings of the gut, and the feelings of the gut is also willpower, which is also kind of akin to just like general magic, so to speak. So that's another part of it. But anyway, I say all that to essentially say, once you start to embrace all of nature, all of life, the pleasure, the pain, and you start to just accept the totality of the present moment, you stop worrying about general distant future and you get to actually live those thoughts that you would have later had in hindsight in that actual present moment. You're not going to be thinking, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. You could have been like, oh, I was present here, I was present there. And sometimes that's like even quote unquote dark in nature, like being present or too present in a scenario. Some other people would be like, oh, that's negative. Oh, that's not the righteous way because you were supposed to have everything premeditated. Honestly, present, like literally trying to live every moment as it happens. Like you can do so much to plan. You can do so much to try to alter how things are gonna go. But at the end of the day, they are what they are and they work out as they work out because that's how it's supposed to go when it's supposed to go. You get what I mean? But yeah. So the true nature of all of this and the true reason why you have to embrace your dark side or your dark natures or your shadow or whatever those negative things that you generally deem as negative is because with that being said, you start to realize like I've conquered all these things before. Whether that be earlier in this life, whether that be in like a different lifetime or that timeline, whatever, you've already accomplished those things, and these things are already your tools. The difference is now you're going to be seeing things from a level where it's like I've already mastered these tools. I'm just doing these things in this life and in this time frame and in this physical mode and etc. to do it this way. Like you already know a lot of the things that you're already into. These are things that you've been born with. These are things that you may have mastered over time because of external influences, because of family, etc. At the end of the day, like these things are a part of you. It's part of your immortal soul. So this Scorpio season is essentially trying to get you closer to your immortal soul, and that's going to pop off probably when this full moon happens. I haven't looked at the astrology for it yet, but when the full moon starts to happen and unravel, because if I'm not mistaken, the full moon will also be like just coming off of Uranus and Taurus. So it's going to be Uranus and Taurus, but that full moon is going to be hitting that aspect, and then who knows where the consciousness of people are gonna go after that. But that's just something to like look at and look forward to because who knows, you know. But enough about that. Essentially, we're going to be submerging into the secret teachings, but the secret teachings aren't necessarily going to be these super long, brought out explanations or these super detailed things for you to do in order for you to achieve. What these things are honestly going to be is like very simple phrases that you've already said. Like, for example, I'm going to break this down as much as I can remember the best way I can. I had a teacher, a music teacher in high school. Shouts out to him. One of my favorite teachers of all time. He actually let me teach his class more than half the time, to be honest, which was fun. He knows music, so obviously I had a great time. But one thing he used to say every day, he was like, the sun's shining, the birds are singing, it's a beautiful breeze. And he would just like kind of go through like all of these things. And the reason why he did that every day, and it didn't matter if it was snowing out, it didn't matter if like there was a huge delay, everyone came in, he would always give this perspective. And the reason why he gave that perspective is to essentially bring the mind to the idea that there's a beauty in the joy of just simplistically just living and existing and just being present within life. Like the sun is shining. If it's not shining here, it's shining somewhere. And oh, it is a beautiful day. And although it might be like snowing here, it's sunny over in the West Coast. It's sunny down in the Caribbean. Like there's always more to be seen and more to be given in a sense, right? But yeah. That's the general energetic breakdown for this prequel to Halloween. What I'm going to actually do which I don't normally do in all these. I'm going to be pulling cards for the new moon, how it's going to affect you, and how you can actively use these energies to your benefit during this transit. So I'm gonna actually skip over. I'm gonna do a different video for that. So for anyone who's watched this one, thank you so much for your time. I have my readings down below in the description. Also, like my Cash App and some other stuff. And the song Shivers just came out. Shoot, yeah, you need to go see that too. But yeah, so I'm gonna catch up with y'all soonish. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active as far as communication is concerned. Or email me if you have any super specific questions about this upcoming Scorpio season and etc. Anyway, hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out, party people. See you on the flip.